Hello, everyone. Good afternoon for most of you, maybe. um, I hope you're all doing well out there. I hope you had a great weekend. We had a crazy weekend, kind of. I don't know. We decided not to go to North Carolina. Andrew wasn't feeling great, and so we had a lot of stuff to do. He also wanted to take a class this week, so he wanted to try to sell more paintings. So while even though he wasn't feeling good, he was working on paintings to try to get more paintings done so we could get those into the online store so that hopefully some of y'all will grab some. And it all worked out because he is right now, maybe just now, leaving his first day of class. So he did get to take the class that he wanted to. So I'm glad he got to do that, even though we didn't get to go down to North Carolina for Fire in the Mountain, which we really both wanted to see, but it just was not in the cards to make that work. But let me go back here. I'm going to put on the little ticker down below because we're going to do some lots today of gemstones. So this is how you can claim them, but we're not going to get to that quite yet. We're going to chat a little bit. Let me see who's here with us. See a lot of you already chatting each other up. Here's Suzanne. Thank you for joining us. Says hello, Andrew, William, Barnaby, and Gilbert. AG Beat fam out there. Yes. Hello, Marianne. Hello, Michelle. Thank you for being here. Barbara is with us again. Hello, Barbara. Thanks for tuning in. Let's see here. Cindy is with us as well. Norma is hanging out with us today. Thank you for joining us. That's all I see so far. But if you're here, these are mostly all YouTube people I see. So if you're here and you're on Facebook or you're on YouTube, please say hi. Let us know that you're here and where you're tuning in from. I know a lot of people have made friends even in person because they've met people on our lives that are in their same city or very close nearby. So it's always cool to see people where they're from and see people get together and hang out with each other and make in-person friends too, especially now that, I mean, COVID is still with us, but it's not what it was, at least I hope. So getting together and doing things now is a little bit more fun. Let's see here. Who else? Cheryl is here. Hello, Cheryl. Says, hi, William. Hoping you and Andrew had a restful weekend. Kind of. I took a little bit of downtime. Andrew has been working a lot on his paintings, so he was getting very little sleep. But he, I think, went to sleep a little bit last night. Once I go to sleep, I kind of pass out for pretty hard, actually, which I'm very lucky, I think, that happens to me. But I do remember, I believe, Andrew sleeping for a little bit last night. And but he had to get up early for his class. Like I said, he did get to take the class he wanted to take this week. So it's going to be all week long. It's kind of a 9 to 5 thing, I think. So he has to be in Johnstown by 9 to get started in the morning. And he's probably just leaving. Like I said, it's just after 5 now. He's probably finishing up class now, or, sometimes the first days go a little bit over. So I don't know if he'll pop in the comments here or not. He'll probably be on his way home. But yeah, he got to do that. Thanks to all of you out there who purchased some of his paintings and made orders in general, even if it wasn't one of his paintings, who made orders in our online store. We had some nice orders this weekend. It is amazing. We are not we are not a business that normally gets gigantic orders. We're not those people. There are probably bead stores out there who several $100 orders, that is nothing to them. But we got 1 or 2 this weekend, and that was actually really amazing. It really, really helped. Now all the orders helped because a lot of the class money came from the paintings. And that's how we wanted to do it. So for all of you who grabbed a painting, thank you so much. For all of you who grabbed multiple paintings, thank you so much. For all of you who shared the news about the paintings, thank you so much. But it was just kind of, sometimes, I can get to feeling low with my anxiety and worried. And sometimes when you see a nice order coming out of nowhere, it just does everything to change your mood. And you don't know why that happened or what. If you could reproduce that, if I could reproduce whatever it took to make that order happen or those orders happen, that would be nice. But no, but we're very thankful for all of you, no matter what size your order is. But sometimes it's that added boost that's just like, wow, how did they find us? Why did they find, like, barely, sometimes never placed an order with us before, and we get this big order, or placed a few little orders and then made a big order. It's really interesting sometimes, and you can make yourself insane trying to figure that out. So this weekend was pretty good. Couldn't get a lot done because it's been raining so much. I wanted to mow the grass at home, and it always happens. Inevitably, I will mow the grass, and usually my grass is, we'll mow it, and it's like we're out of sync with all of our neighbors all the time. Like, if our grass is cut low, their grass is growing high. If our grass is growing high, theirs are cut low. Right now, everyone around us has this nice manicured lawn because I mowed my grass a week before some people. And so now it's going to rain for like a week here. So I'm never going to get the grass mowed. It's going to get insane before it gets better. But I'm just looking at things like that, and it's just, it was one of those weekends that you wish you could have done a lot of stuff and just didn't get it done. Anyway, let's see here. What else is going on? Michelle says, my hubby bought your lapis and crystal pendant to go with his tiger eye. Nice. That's awesome. Bonnie is with us. Minnesota in the house. Nice. Susan says, hi, yucky. First day of May from Pittsburgh. It's raining today. It's pretty gray. There were some points it was a little bit sunny. I took a walk to get some coffee. I had to support our one coffee house here in town, Abigail's Coffee House. They are celebrating their 25th anniversary. It started yesterday. I went in yesterday. I had to show up. I actually had to take the car. It was raining so much all day yesterday that I took the car over, which is like 2 blocks away, because I didn't have an umbrella. But I had to support them then, and so I went in again today. And both days, every 25 minutes, they have a little timer that goes off, and you can spin the wheel if you're the customer that's there at the time. Both days, I was the customer at the counter. So I got a 10% discount yesterday, and I got a free cookie today. So that was fun. So if you are local, stop in to Abigail's. They would love to see you. It was a slow day for them today too because of all the rain, but they are trying to celebrate their 25th anniversary. It's worth coming out for. Just hang out with them, congratulate them. 25 years for a small business is amazing. Hello, Susan out there on Facebook with us. Sandra is with us. Hello, Sandra. Thanks for tuning in. Other Susan is with us. It says, hello, William, Andrew, Gilbert, Barnaby, Suzanne, Marianne, Michelle, Barbara, Cindy, Norma, and anyone else I may have missed, right? It's a long list sometimes. Barbara says, who's the other person from Denver, North Carolina? Reach out and say hola. So if you are around the Denver, North Carolina, I didn't know there was a Denver, North Carolina. If you're around that area, say hello. Let's see. Everyone's saying hi to each other, just scrolling through the chats here. Cindy's watching on the big TV, so can't chat much. I know, when you watch on the big TV, sometimes it's harder to chat, but we're glad you're here with us, and thank you for joining us. And it just jumped again. Susan, cat duty calls, be right back. Can't disappoint the feline overlords. No, don't disappoint them. Don't disappoint them at all. So Andrew talked with V, who is the person they used to help us out at the store here. They also have kittens, and V is the person we may be getting kittens from. They have 3 girl cats. We found out they're all 3 girls. Thought they were 2 boys and a girl. They're all girls. Our house has always been male dominated. Babette has been the only girl cat we've ever had. So we may be bringing in 2 to 3, probably 3 girl cats, maybe. But they are going to be tested at the end of this month, I believe, for FIV and all that stuff. Because sometimes our cats, our boys play a little bit rough. And all that stuff's transferred mostly through blood and stuff. Some of it's transferred through saliva, some of the other ones that aren't as bad, but we don't want to take any risks. So at the end of the month, there's a vet appointment to have them all tested. So once we hear back from that, we'll have more information on whether we will be adopting 3 little kittens or not. But I think we picked out names already. I don't know if we went over these before, but we're going to, I think, name them Tallulah and Isabella and, the other one, we changed the name. We were thinking about Greta, but I think we changed it, and now I can't think of what that is. And it's the fun one. It's the fun name too. Well, they're all kind of fun names. Isabella, Tallulah, and I want to say Georgie for Georgiana. Georgie, maybe something. Starts with a G. It's like that. Bonnie says, I see you have a Frank Lloyd Wright book. Did you know there is a Frank Lloyd Wright gas station in Cloquet, Minnesota? I did not. No, the reason we have this, as many of you may know, we have Frank Lloyd Wright's Falling Water right pretty close to us here, about 30 to 40 minutes away south of us here in Ligonier. So if you're coming to visit us or you're coming to visit Frank Lloyd Wright, you can visit us or Frank Lloyd Wright, whichever one you're not visiting. You can come visit. We also have a number of houses of Frank Lloyd Wrights around the area, but I didn't know there was a Frank Lloyd Wright gas station, period. Maybe I should read the book. It might be in there. I haven't had a chance to read that book. Bonnie's getting a stretch of nice weather. That's nice. It is 48 as a high. Right now it's 44 degrees here, and it's raining. So that's what it is. Suzanne says 85 degrees there. It's getting a little bit hot. Michelle says 61 there. Susan has it sunny and cool at 63. That's a good day. I say sunny, cool, 63. Not bad. Put on a little hoodie. Don't need anything else. Or maybe just a long sleeve tee even, depending. Let's see. Marianne, today it's 83 there, but there are several wildfires to the west. Yikes. You're coming out of the cold. You're coming into the heat quick. It's like us, up and down, up and down. Sorry to hear about the wildfires. That's never good, but it is very dry. And as much as people want to complain about the rain right now here in Western Pennsylvania, I am so happy we're getting it because things were very dry here. We had one of the lower winter precipitation amounts this year. It was very low. And so I'm glad we're getting the rain. We need the rain tables to, fill up a little bit so things can grow and not dry out and have wildfires. Let's see here. Sandra says, I've just been chilling this weekend and off for the next 3 days due to doctor's orders. I have a pinched nerve in my neck. I thought I was having a heart attack, so I will take a pinched nerve. That's for sure. I'm glad that's all it is. I know that's a lot, and I'm sure not pleasant, but I'm glad you're taking time to rest, and I'm glad that is not anything more serious. Hopefully that rest will help. I don't know if chiropractors help with things like that. I've never been to one, but I've heard amazing stories from some of our chiropractors in town. It makes me want to go. But hopefully you get some time to rest and do get to chill out. I know things are difficult right now in the world, right? Things are not for everyone maybe, and not as crazy as they have been maybe. I know there's been, just in the recent past, between the pandemic and politics, the two P's, right? It got wild. And I think things are maybe, a little less wild now, but I think for a lot of people, I know me, especially suffering from anxiety, it's easy to get caught up in that, right? And it's hard to get unstuck or uncaught up in that. It's easy to let your brain go. And for me with anxiety, that's mostly what my anxiety is ruminating on things, and then they start to take on a life of their own, and then it's hard to get out of that. It's hard to separate yourself from that life that's been created. But I know I think things are still hard for some people, and yeah, I think rest is one of the biggest things and one of the best things we can do for ourselves. And it's good that you did it. You went to the doctor, you saw what it was, and you're listening to the doctor and getting some rest. Let's see, everyone's saying you need to rest. Yes, please do. Susan says 2 of my kitties are being spayed and neutered tomorrow. Did you get new kitties, Susan? I don't know if I heard that, or maybe I missed that. I didn't realize you had, I'm assuming they're younger, or maybe they're older and they just came to you. I don't know. Let's see. Let's see, everyone's saying hi. Sandra says, yep, just laying in bed and watching. Thank you all, with a big heart. Susan says, I have a Tallulah. She was born at the Waterford Fire Hall in 2019. I didn't know you had a Tallulah. Yeah, and we've been talking about having a Tallulah cat for like years, I feel like. And so Tallulah, and I think it's Georgie. Georgie, is that what I said before? I think it's Georgiana. Georgie. I think that's it. Tallulah, Isabella, and Georgie. I think those are our 3 possible new girls. Tori says, my youngest daughter is Greta. Nice. I have a friend named Greta from New York. I believe she's in Connecticut now. I haven't seen her since I left New York, unfortunately, other than online. But I always feel like it's weird to name animals when you know people with that name. So originally we were going to have a Greta, and then we're like, what if Greta sees it? And Greta's like, why are you naming a cat after me? Although she'd probably think it was a hoot. But yeah, so we changed that, I think, to Georgiana. Hello, Teresa. Thanks for joining us today. Marion says, I am just drooling today. I will not be tempted. Repeat the mantra. Yeah, we're going to show you some gemstones. These again, I think this is one of the last, if not the last batch of gemstones from Tucson. We still have some, y'all, that we have not shown on our lives. But if you did get a Desert Discoveries, you may have gotten something in this batch. So these are new for the most part. They are new being shown on the live. They have not come out of their little bags. We get them in these little bags. A lot of vendors use these little bags to write on and package them up for you. So they've not come out of their bags other than to be put in Desert Discoveries and then sealed away again for us to wait till those all got out and then give them live. So we're giving them to you live here today. I have only 10 lots, and most of these are lower priced items. So some agates and some, there's some they're nice stones, but we're not going high end with these today. So even if you do more than drool today, Marianne, hopefully it won't break the bank. Trace is so glad Andrew could take the class. Yeah, I'm glad he could get it too. He was really excited about it. Michelle says, I'm working on a 2-strand choker with a strand all the way down the back. Is that what you showed in the Triers group? Was that what all that setup was? I'm interested to see. That sounds interesting. Let's see here. Bonnie says, I think Joan is a great cat name. Yes, Joan could be a cool cat name. I like when cats named with people names, I think, are so fun sometimes, especially if it matches their personality, right? Susie's getting ready to go back to work tomorrow. Been off for over a year. Wow, that's an exciting day, right? It's like that the back to school, probably up all, hopefully you're not up all night, but me, I'd be like up all night thinking about how it was gonna go. And every school year, in elementary school, in high school, even if I was excited, whether I was excited or dreading it, most of the time I was pretty excited for a new school year. Even though I was bullied a lot in high school, I still felt like when I started a new year, I still felt excited by the opportunity to learn and, to get back to seeing my friends more often. So anytime, even when I started a new job after school, after college, there's still that night before, and it was always so hard for me to fall asleep because my mind went crazy. So I wish you a good night's rest before tomorrow. But that's exciting, Susie. Let's see here. Susan says they're 7 and 8 months, Cooper and Savannah. I don't think I knew that. Well, that's nice, Cooper and Savannah. Um, ba, ba, ba. Michelle says, I posted the beads I'm mainly working on my William Tries things in the Triers group. Yeah, nice. Marion says, Georgiana the Duchess. See, don't know. See, I don't know people. I don't know people. That's the thing. I'm a lot in my own world. So if it's somebody from the tech community, I probably have heard their name. If it's somebody in some of the little communities I watch and hang out in, I probably know their name. Famous people, royalty. I don't know people. It's weird. It's weird. I do live in my own world a lot. Teresa went to an ear, nose, and throat specialist, found out I have a lot of pressure behind my eardrums and my sinuses are inflamed. Yikes. Andrew probably has something like that too, especially right now. He's been having a lot of sinus issues with the weather, but he has most of his adult life. So I'm sorry to hear you're having issues. Hopefully they can figure that out. I don't know. My sinuses, I feel like I have a deviated septum or something because I can never breathe out of my nose, pretty much hardly ever. I wear nose strips at night to help me sleep and breathe. And when I run, often I'll put on a nose strip, but usually only one side at a time works. Barbara says, I'm hanging new blinds, spring cleaning, etc. That's nice. I want to put new blinds in our house. I want to put new curtains. I want to put new window coverings, period, in our house. Ours are getting old. They're getting torn up from the cats. But now that we're getting kittens, I don't know that the smartest thing to do is to put in all new drapery. So we'll see. I don't know. Our house often takes a back seat to everything else, whether it's the business or whether it's the other business or whether it's the cottage or the house often takes the back seat. So I don't know, but that's nice. I'm glad you're getting to do it. Spring cleaning sounds great. We need to do spring cleaning before we get our kittens. It looks like the month countdown. So at the end of the month, we'll know for sure if we can adopt them. And if we can, the house has to be kitten proofed, which is not an easy thing to do. Especially when we have as much stuff as we have. Andrew sent me a reel or a story on Instagram, I think it was the other day, and this woman was fostering cats, and she could find all the cats, all the kittens, except 2 of them, and she looked all over for them, and she was getting panicked. And here, she finally lifted up her bedding, and her bed was pushed up against the wall. Most people's beds somewhere, the headboard somewhere is pushed up against the wall. She didn't have a headboard, but it was pushed up against the wall. She lifted the covers, and the 2 kittens were stacked on top of each other, sleeping in the space between the bed and the wall. Somehow they got themselves lodged in there. I assume the framing of the bed stopped them from falling any further, but they had covered themselves over and they were tucked in there. And so that made me think, I'm like, you can lose cats in the easiest way in your house. We have to try and make sure our house, that we can look at things quickly and find these cats. So it was like, okay, that's a sign. We gotta get this house cleaned up and kitten proofed. Bonnie says, my son named his cat Kevin. That's a cute name for a cat, Kevin. I like that. Let's see here. Oops, it just skipped. Michelle says AG check beads are there too. I thought I recognized some AG beads in there. Susie says, I'm nervous for sure, but I'm sure I'll figure it out. Yeah, why not, right? It's that's the whole point, behind my William Tries Things page and my group, The Triers. If you're not in there, you can search William Tries Things on Facebook. And then there's a group that you can link to called The Triers. We try things. It's when you're starting something new, I think as adults, we often have this feeling that we need to know how to do it, right? You get a new job and you should know how to do it. you get a new job, it's new. You don't know how to do it, right? Unless it's the same thing you've been doing all the time. But no matter where you go, even the same thing you've done all the time can be done in a different way, or with different, software, or different computer, different technology, different ways of doing things, different, hierarchies, different everything. And so that's what the William Tries things is, trying to get rid of that stigma that, that you need to know how to do something to attempt it. So I understand the nervousness, Susie. I really do. But I am 100% sure you will figure it out. Bonnie says, there's no room for bullies in my life. That's good. That's good. Yeah, shouldn't have bullies. Don't let bullies into your life. I'm trying, as I get older, to keep that in mind, because, bullies can come in a lot of different forms, right? I was physically bullied very often, and I was verbally bullied very often in high school. And that was because of a lot of things. I was very different. I was a different kid. I was a geek or a nerd, one of the two, maybe both. I went through vitiligo, so I had very big splotches of dark and light skin until it all pretty much went away, until all my pigment went away, and now I'm just very pale. I was gay, but I was in the closet, so most people knew it probably, or thought it. So that was another thing that made me an easy target. I had, through everything that I was going through in my own head, I was an easy target because I was too, I don't know how to say it. I didn't fight back. And whether that was because I didn't feel like I deserved to be picked on, but I also didn't feel I had the strength, because I was going through so much in my own head. And you get to the point where you're like, well, this is why it's happening. What are you going to do? When I could have fought back, I was trained in Taekwondo. I was very good at it. But I never did. So yeah, as I get older and as I get through life, trying to find the bullies, they sneak up on you in different ways sometimes, right? It's easy to identify a bully when they're upfront, or when they're physically abusive, right? But there are a lot of ways they can sneak in. So learning to see it, learning to recognize it, and learning that it's not worth your time, and you are better than that, or you are worth more than dealing with a bully, is a learning process for a lot of people. I'm getting a front porch jam together. Front porch jam, music jam, like that kind of jam. That's cool. That's cool. What kind of jam are you getting together? That was Suzanne. Marion says, the notorious 19th century Duchess of Devonshire. See, notorious, but I don't know her. Andrew probably knows her. I don't know her. Oops, sorry, this comment skipped. Bonnie says, some cats can even open closed doors. I know. Our screen door kept popping open at one point, and it was always when the cats were standing at it. And I was like, have they learned? Because we have one of those handles that's just a bar across, and you turn it and it opens. So if they get their little weight on there, and I'm like, have they learned to open the screen door? And then I locked the screen door, and I watched them to see if they could do, and they weren't doing it. So I think it was just that it was between seasons, and sometimes the screen door latches better than others, especially when it's in between seasons. There's this period where you've got to really push on it, and so I think that's all it was. But yeah, they can learn, they learn to twist, or they learn to pull. I know cats are smart. Barbara says, also, I adopted a single baby kitten, and although he is adopting well, it's best that you adopt more than one, because they learn to play and fight on their own. Yeah, we always try and adopt more than one at a time. We adopted Paolo and Babette together. They were brother and sister. And there were others in that litter, but we took those two. And then Barnaby and Gilbert. Barnaby and Gilbert have a brother as well, which my grandmother originally adopted. And when my brother moved into my grandmother's house, my brother then adopted because the cat was there and stayed there. So they kept that cat. And they also adopted Barnaby and Gilbert's mama. So they have the mama and the brother of Barnaby and Gilbert. And so, yeah, they're all in the family. But yeah, we okay, I'm back. I'm back. Sorry, everybody. I think our internet is flashing on and off. I don't know if it's because of the weather or what it is, but I'm back. If I went away, I don't know if I ever went away or not. Um, but it probably threw up a banner or something. Which one did it throw up? New paintings by Andrew, probably. So there's no new paintings by Andrew. If you saw that whenever I went blank, sorry, there are no new paintings by Andrew happening today. He does have new paintings. We put them on last night, but I did not bring them into the store today because it was raining and I didn't want to possibly get them wet. So if you didn't see that, there are new paintings by Andrew in the online store. We released 8 new ones last night. Sent out an email first, so if you're on the email list, you would have gotten that, and then posted it on Facebook. So anyway, I don't know what I was talking about. I was talking about talking about kittens and adopting the kittens. And yeah, it's good to adopt them in pairs. You're right, Barbara. And we try to do that, adopt more than one. But you know, sometimes lone kittens, they need adopted too. We were thinking of only taking 2 of these 3 because I'm not sure we can have 5 cats, but it's hard. It's hard to give one up. So, although there is somebody who wants one if we don't take them all, but I think we've already named them, so I think we don't have much of a choice. Norma says, in my experience, male cats are more laid back than females. You may be in for a wild time with 3 feisty female kittens. We'll see. Babette, she was a little feisty. She was always a little bit feisty, but she was always pretty well behaved, and she ruled the roost. So I don't know what it's going to be like with 3 baby girls. We'll see. We'll see. Suzanne says, I'm so glad we got both of our girls. Yeah, right? Marion says, my girl is the boss. Yep, Babette was the boss. She was definitely the boss. But now Gilbert is the boss. He's the alpha, and he does his job well. But we'll see how he does with 3 kittens. Gilbert in our mind has always been the cat who wanted babies. I don't know why. That's always been his life story. You know, I don't know if you make up life stories for your cats. Maybe we're weird. But Gilbert has always been the cat who wanted to have kittens and take care of them and be with them. So we'll see if that's actually true once we get these kittens on how well he does with them. Bonnie says, we shut our cat in a drawer and left for a week to California, got back, opened the drawer, and she jumped out. We had to throw away all the clothes in there. I bet you did. I'm glad she's okay. I always fear stuff like that. I get so paranoid. And now we're going to have kittens. I know my anxiety is going to jump. Like normally one of us is home. Andrew's often home. Or if he's not home, I'm home. And so when we go away, or like even today, Andrew's going to class and he's not home all day. And I'm like, I hope the cats are okay. I hope they're like, my anxiety starts to, because it's out of the normal. It's out of the normal. So that to me, I'd be like, oh my goodness. Those are the kind of things I think about happening, but I'm glad they were okay. Teresa says, one of our male cats was named Norwood. That's a cute name. Susie says, thanks, William. You're welcome. Hello, Danette. Thanks for joining in. Michelle says, oh, yay, I got my package. Nice. Danette says, I was bullied in high school. It's hard. It's hard. Kids are not nice. Teenagers are not nice a lot of times. I'm not saying there's not nice ones out there, but teenagers to other teenagers, kids to other kids can be hard. Suzanne says, yes, music, nice. So mostly guitars and other strings. That's nice. You know, my grandfather used to do that with his friends once in a while. And it only happened a few times that I can remember that I was around for. But it was always a fun time. He'd get together and they'd do mostly like bluegrass, kind of bluegrass/country music. And he did a lot of different things and played a lot of different instruments. And it was always fun to have them around and just hoot and hollering and that kind of stuff. So it's good memories. So I'm glad. It's nice that you're doing it. Suzanne said blues mostly, trying to find some brass. Nice. Susan says, sounds awesome. You have to post a video. Yeah, I hope you do, Suzanne. Please post a video. I'd love to see that. Danette says, I like the name Winston for our cat or dog. That's cute. Sandra says, yes, you went away. I did. Let's see. Susan says, the rescue we got Phil from would only adopt to people who had another cat. That's interesting. I've never heard of that, but I guess that's kind of good. Sandra says, I have a lone kitten. She doesn't like other cats. Yeah, some, just like some people don't like other people, some cats, some dogs, they don't like other animals around. They are like one-person kittens or one-person dogs. And that's a thing, right? Can't expect them all to be the same. Let's see here. Suzanne says, adults are not nice, right? Some adults are very much not nice to other adults or to other people in general. Susan says, kittens have so much energy. We weren't prepared for how active Phil was, and he was 5 months old when we got him. Yeah, I don't know what these kittens are going to be like. We'll see. Susan says, people are not nice. Not true of everyone, but meanies get more attention, I guess. It is true, right? And that was something I watched. Anger brings attention, right? I was watching something and they were talking about kind of leaning toward politics. And I forget who it was. They were talking about how they've just recently gotten into politics and they're in the House or, somewhere. I can't remember who it was. But they were saying that they were watching people in public, the people who get crazy angry and angry at everything and just throwing things and how they respond when they're in private. And they said that so many of these people in the House, in Congress, in the Senate, who are throwing things on camera and you see them just banging things, and when they're behind closed doors, they're cool as a cucumber, no problems, easy people to deal with. And they say a lot of times it's because the anger creates attention, which creates this fury, which binds people together. And if you can get people angry at something, I think it's the extremes. Like if cults are formed by people loving the same thing, right? Or brainwashing people into loving the same thing. And you can do the same thing with love, but you can do the same thing with hate too. And I think that the idea was that in politics, if you can get people to hate things with you, you've solidified your people. And I think that's just such an awful way to go about life. But to also know that behind closed doors, these people aren't like that. And it's all a show. Just shows you how much... how fake it is, right? They're not on your side. They're not really, they just want you on to vote with them. But they're not really that angry. They're not really that upset. They're well off, most of them, right? Now, some of them are fighting the good fight, right? But most of them, They just want to be reelected. They just want to, keep making their money, keep making their health care, since that's a big thing here in the U.S. that not everyone has. Um, I don't know. But yeah, it's adults can be mean, and adults and mean things, mean people can, they get attention, right? A lot of times people find what brings them attention and they keep doing that, whether it's true or whether it becomes an act. And I think that can go for anybody, you can get attention when you're angry. You can get attention when you're super in love with something. You can get attention when you're sick. You can get attention, if you're having issues. So, and sometimes when people find that and they see, oh, there's people around me, a lot of times, especially if you're sick or if you're angry or hurt, because this happened to me when I was being bullied. You find the people who will stick beside you, and you're afraid that if the circumstances change, like if you're not bullied anymore, if I'm happy, if I'm a happy person now, am I going to lose all these people around me? If I was somebody who were sick for a long time and I find my way to healthy, am I going to lose these people around me? And I think a lot of it is, we find these connections in life, and sometimes they're hard to think about getting rid of. So sometimes the connections end up controlling us. So I don't know. I'm getting off topic here a lot. I've been very cerebral today. It's been one of those days. Rainy days often do that. I was doing some things here for the store, getting ready for the live and putting things together, and I was watching YouTube, and a lot of stuff came up. So sorry. I'm going through it all now with all of you. Student says, we've never named our cats. They came with names, and we kept them since they were fine names. That's nice. The cats that we may be getting, the girls, they have names, but I think we will be changing them. Not that they're bad. I think one is called Wedge right now. V's cats' names are Syrup and Cider. So these kittens, I forget the mama cat. I think it's the mama cat. One of the cats, it was an outdoor cat that V had named, and I forget the name. Maybe Caesar. But all these cats are like salad names. So there's a Wedge, there's Tabule, that. And I forget the other name that V picked out. So I don't think we're going to have salad names in the house, but maybe. I doubt it, though. We like to name ours, even though those are fun. They don't make sense in our household. They make sense in V's household, though. Susan says, having public meltdowns, people do, right? Some people do. Some people do. Marion says, politicians are in a class by themselves. Can be, right? Susan says, especially true of some who shall not be named here, right? You can all say that. Hello, Donna. Thanks for joining us. Said, hi, all. Been busy with laundry and making dinner all day. Now to sit down, I'll probably fall asleep, right? What are you making for dinner? What are you making for dinner? Norma says, when Waldo and Pepper were kittens, they were into everything all the time. I had a zippered nylon pop-up travel kennel that was meant for a dog. I popped them in sometimes for their own protection. I know. I'm like, am I going to have to get borrow my mom's dog crates or something? We'll see for these kittens. Marion says, we are going into full election mode in provincial politics. Bonnie says, that's so true about connections and how people communicate. Whoops. Sue says, I'd rather be alone than put up with bullies and anyone who supports them either openly or covertly, right? I agree. Danette says, I tuned in late. Where are you getting kittens from? I know Action for Animals had boy kittens, and they were all named after breakfast foods. That's cute. Our kittens are coming from V, who used to help us in the store. You probably heard us talk about V. V is in Johnstown, and V left us over the winter because they needed a full-time job, and we can't offer full-time. We just can't do it, especially over the winter. It's very seasonal here. So V lives in Johnstown and had a porch cat, or has a porch cat that had kittens, and V is taking care of those kittens. So that's where ours will be coming from. Marion says Tabula would be a great name. Yeah, it is actually a really good name, and I really like that. But it doesn't quite fit with us, so I think maybe the Tabula is going to be Tallulah. I can't. We picked out the names. I didn't realize Andrew assigned the names already because V came in today showing some videos up at the class that Andrew's in, because he's in Johnstown as well. And they were talking, and he's like, "Oh yeah, show me pictures of Tallulah." And I said, "Did we assign these names already?" Apparently he did. Donna says pork roast, sauerkraut, and mashed potatoes. Oh, that sounds good. I do sometimes miss pork and sauerkraut, but I'm fine. I saw a movie the other day. Was it a movie or a commercial where they were talking about animals and killing animals for food? I think we were watching a series, and they were talking about they had to kill the animals for the food, and it got me right back into not needing any of that meat stuff. So there it is. Because I've been like, oh, fried chicken would be good. I'm like, nope. Can't do it. Sorry, y'all. Barbara says, y'all are not prepared for kittens. Maybe the apocalypse, but not kittens, right? That's pretty much the way it goes because... Oh. Come on. Sorry, y'all. The store phone is ringing for a spam risk. So, yeah. Yeah, kittens, something else. We always forget how wild kittens can be, right? Especially 3. Never had 3 kittens at once, ever. So I don't know what that's going to be like, but we'll see. Donna says, what way is Andrew going to Johnstown? Probably 271, but depending on what time he leaves and what traffic might be happening, he does take various ways. Sometimes he goes out 30, sometimes up 271. He's also gone up 711 to 56. So there are at least 3 ways that we know of to easily get to Johnstown from here, and he picks and chooses depending on what it is. Susan says, if I ever have a girl kitty, I'll name her Flavia after the girl detective from Alan Bradley Mystery Stories. That's cute. That's a nice name, Flavia. Yeah, so what else is going on before we get into the gemstones? Because that's going to be the end. Once we do the gemstones, that's it, done. There are only 10 lots. It's going to not take us a long time. They're inexpensive for the most part. They're not super expensive lots. They're not the high end, but they're beautiful stones. And they might be things you want to grab and add to your collection. Marianne says 2 kittens and a dog is the most I've had at one time. Growing up, probably 2 dogs and a cat or 2 is all that we ever had at one time that I can remember. Having 4 cats at once when we had Paula, Babette, Barnaby, and Gilbert, that's the most in the way of cats that I've ever had at once. Now if we get 3, we're going to have 5. That's a lot, but they're cute. What are you going to do? I don't want to split them up if we don't have to. But yeah. Having a dog in there, I don't think I could do it. I don't think I could do it. My mom and aunt have dogs. They love their dogs, and I have nothing against dogs, but I like cats more. So I don't know. Donna says, is Jen in during the week? No. And I don't even know if Jen's going to be in this Friday. I'm still waiting for Jen to give us her May schedule. She said that May is very up and down, so it's taking her a little bit longer to figure out. Her kids are doing a lot. There's baseball practices, and her other son that was hit in the automobile accident has numerous scheduled things that he still does. So yeah, it's one of those things. So we're waiting for Jen to give us her schedule. But Jen does not come in any other time during the week. I film with her mostly on Tuesday nights, but that's after we close, and that's up at the cottage. But Jen is only in on Fridays when she does come in. Susan says, do the dogs ever visit? Visit us? No. My mom and aunt, they take their dogs places sometimes, but mostly my aunt has 90 acres. And my mom has 3 acres, and she has little dogs. So they get enough exercise and playtime and all that on their own property. They don't generally take them places very often. They don't need to. Norma says, when I was married, we had 4 cats and 2 dogs. It was a lot, but they were all rescues and we loved them. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, you know, you got to rescue these animals. that's how you become an old man cat hoarder, and we don't want to go there. But no, that's the thing too, is I don't think I could ever have a ton of them. You know, the people who do, that's amazing. I just get, I would feel it's my anxiety again. Literally, it's such a weird thing, but I don't know if you have anxiety, maybe it happens to you. But I feel like that if I give one more attention than the other, or if I have too many that I can't give them equal attention, then I feel like I'm betraying them. It's such a weird thing. And you know, attention can be different for different cats. Like, I feel like I have to learn enough about each one to know their personality, to know what kind of attention they prefer, and then give them that attention. And if I just had more than I could do that with easily, like if we had like 10 cats, it would take like 3 hours for me to spend time with them all, because I have to make sure I spend their exact amount of time with all of them. So, you know, bless the people who can have a ton of cats and take care of them and keep them safe and happy and healthy. 5 is going to be a struggle for me, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. So anyway, that was that. I put up a question on the Allegory Gallery page, and I shared it into the Design Challenge group. And if you can help us with that, I'd really appreciate your input on that post. Please keep it on that post. You can say it here too, but please also put it in that post. Because, you know, I was on YouTube today watching the things that I watch when I'm in this kind of, you know, mental thinking, cerebral mood. And I was thinking the next thing that we're going to do, we try a lot of things here at Allegory Gallery, and some of them stick, some of them don't. And sometimes we give them up before they have time to stick, maybe because we are not sure people like them or you know, whatever. So I'm just asking our community out there and all of you who are our supporters, what if we do another series on YouTube? What would you want that series to be from us? Not necessarily in general, like from somebody, but specifically from us. What strengths that we have would you like to see in a YouTube series? We started these tutorials, the Saturday morning tutorials, as kind of a series, and they've been doing pretty well. And thank you, by the way, to everyone who watched them. This video moved to the #1 spot in, like, I think it judges like in 4-week increments or something. So when you all watch this one this weekend, it moved to the #1 spot out of 1 out of 10 for the last 4 weeks or whatever it was. So during that viewing period, it's a weird thing. But anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And we saw some projects that people were making. And if you did make a project, please put it in the Allegory Gallery Design Challenge group on Facebook so we can see it. But that was a series that we started, and we're trying to think moving ahead. You know, we want to find help for the store. We want to find somebody to come in on like maybe Sundays and Mondays to help us watch the store, so that I can take some time with Andrew, for one, to maybe have a day off. I work 7 days a week. 1 day off a week might be nice. And 2, to film things with Andrew. And, you know, we have a lot of ideas. We want to do a lot of stuff at the cottage and a lot of different things, you know, tons of stuff we would love to do. But what we want to know from you all who are already supporters of us, what from us, like I said, what of our strengths that you see and that you've maybe seen snippets of here and there, would you like to see? Some of the suggestions I wrote, I think, were like tech tutorials. Like, what is the tech that we use to run our business and how do we use that? Maybe you want to learn more about metalworking and the things that Andrew, like blacksmithing and metalworking and the thing and enameling, the things that Andrew does and that we do at the cottage. Do you want to learn that? Do you want more jewelry making tutorials? There was something else too that I was thinking of, but like we started a business basics at one point to teach kind of like how we started our small business and things to keep in mind if you want to start yours. So what kind of things would you want from us if we were doing a new series? Doesn't mean it's going to happen, y'all. We're taking a poll and seeing what people, we're trying to get a feel for where we can go or where we should go, because we have about 80,000 ideas of where we want to go. But narrowing it down to see what you know our you know most vocal and most supportive people in our community want to hear would be great, or want to see. Donna says, my nieces have hairless cats. Not sure how I feel about them. I think those are cute too. I almost had a hairless cat in college, but that didn't work out. Thank goodness, actually. But yeah, I don't mind them. I don't mind them. I think they're cute. Susan says, I agree with you. I have to know their personalities as well too. Yeah, we try and learn the personalities of our cats, right? Even if it, like, you anthropomorphize a lot, I'm sure. I know we do. And in general, I think people do. But you can learn things about them, the things they like to do and things they like best. And if you watch, you'll learn. Teresa says, I have 9 cats, 3 girls, 6 boys, 2 are outside, 5 of them are brothers, and a sister that had our outside cat had. That's a lot. So bless you for being able to do that. I don't know how you do that. I think I would feel guilty. I don't know. I feel like I couldn't spend enough time with them. But then again, you know, like humans, not every cat needs a ton of time with a human, right? Some of them don't like to spend time with humans. So there's that too. But that's hard for me to actually get through my head. Marianne says 10 cats might take more than 3 hours a day, even if most cats prefer times on their own. If I can't find one of my cats, they'll be hiding under a chair in the living room. Yeah, it's a lot of time, and we are crazy busy with the things we do. So 5 is going to be a challenge still, but it'll be what it is. Sue says, need to think about new series topics. Please do. Please do. Marion says, Edmonton has a 6-cat maximum. That's interesting. I don't know if there's anything like that around here where they limit how many you can have. I didn't know they did that in places. That's interesting. Oh, also today on my William Tries Things page, because I was thinking about some things and watching some YouTube videos again, and a lot of things we're talking about. I was seeing a lot of videos like, if I had known this in my 30s, or if I had known this in my 20s, or things I wish I knew. And it got me to thinking, like, a lot of this came from people feeling like they were behind in something, or that they were, you know, behind in life. And I posted a poll on my William Tries Things page and in the Triers group, and I shared it on my personal page on Facebook. And I asked, do you feel behind in life? Whatever that means to you. It doesn't mean that you are behind, right? It doesn't mean that there's anything wrong, but do you have, like, I often have this feeling, this nagging feeling that I should be doing more in my life than I am. And it usually doesn't matter how much I've succeeded in, how much we've acquired. Yes, I wanted a small business when I was a kid. Did I think we were going to own a gem store and a cottage and another building to start another business? Never. So in all that, looking at it, when I look at it on paper, I'm ahead probably of where I ever thought I was going to be. But in my brain, I often feel like I'm behind in life. And so I put a poll up and then just asked, do you feel like you're behind in life? And some people are commenting, which is really giving insight to their answers, and some people are just answering. And I was looking at the answers and who was answering what way. And for the people who said no, or the people who said yes, that they feel like they're behind in life, I was, surprised. I'm glad for the people who said no, because they're on their path. And most of the people that I look at, from what I know of many of you, it made sense. But the people who said yes, that they feel behind, because people would probably look at me and be like, and they'd probably be surprised that I feel behind in life, I think, in a lot of ways. But I do. And the other people who said yes, when I looked at it, I was like, ooh, I would have never thought that. I would have never thought that. And so I thought it was an interesting question to pose to people, and I want to see how that works out and what people say. And I didn't write to comment on it, but if people comment, I'm really interested in those. Susie says, I think society puts unrealistic expectations on us all. I think that's true. I think that's true. And I think with technology now more than ever, I was watching this one video where they're like, oh yeah, every teenager you see on YouTube is a multimillionaire. And no wonder people feel like they're, behind in life. Because when you're in your 40s and you're not a multimillionaire and you're looking at all these kids who are putting things on YouTube and doing the same thing you spend time doing, and they're making millions, it can easily make you feel like, wow, I'm behind a little bit. Somehow something happened. But anyway, I will probably talk more about this as the poll goes on and as I get more in depth. I want to get more in depth with the people who answer and see and start talking about more things like that. But if you go to William Tries Things, please feel free to hit that yes or no. That's all it is, yes or no. Do you feel behind in life? Don't have to say anything, or you can put things in the comments, but I'd be interested to know. Suzanne says, New Orleans has a 4-animal max, but it's not enforced unless there are complaints. That makes sense. Susie says, we shouldn't work to live. No, unless you love your work, right? I don't know. I think we're at a point in civilization where we're getting to a point where I think fewer people are going to have to work, but our civilization and our society and the way we've made things is going to make it hard for that to happen. Right? I think it'd be hard for that to happen. I really think, I think we're almost at the point where technology is going to be able to take over a lot of jobs. And instead of going to a society where people feel free to just explore what they like to do, right? If 50% of the world didn't have to work, would we as a society be like, okay, 50% of people, half people don't have to work. I'll go to work, but they don't have to. That's not what's going to happen. And so I think it's going to be a very hard thing for a while, even though a lot of people won't have to work, a lot of people will still be forced to work. And I think there's going to be a time when that comes to a head. And, some people are going to work because they love what they do anyway. And like, we love what we do. If I could take a few days off, that would be nice. If I didn't have to worry about making money and I could still do this or not having to make as much money, that would be great. And just do what you enjoy doing. And if we had some sort of, what do they call that? A universal payment or a universal paycheck. Like, everybody gets paid some amount of money to survive on through the government, through all this technology and all this machinery that's making things and taking jobs. And if people can get I forget what it's called, but anyway, and you just had to make enough money, you wanted to make more money, go ahead, make more money, but you could live on what you get. If we got to that point as a civilization, I think it would be great, honestly, because people could find what their passions are and people could take the time to do that. But I think that's a long way away. So working to live, unfortunately, we have to for now. But I think that's changing quickly. I think it's changing quickly. But I don't think society is going to change as quickly as we could change it if we really wanted to. I think that's the point I'm trying to make with that. Donna says, William, you would be a good radio talk show host. Thanks. I've never thought about going into radio talk show, but who knows? Marion says, but should teens have millions, right? That's the other question. Should they? Who knows? Why? It's hard. It's a hard thing. Whether they should or not, they do. They do have millions, whether they're managing it or their parents are managing it or a management company is managing it. They're still making millions and I'm not. So it's still, whether they should or not is beside the point when you're thinking about if you feel behind sometimes. Bonnie says, my answer would be too long. I would answer yes and no to that question. Yes, I understand. There are times I said yes, because I honestly, most of the time, feel like I'm behind in my life or where I should be. But part of that is because you have to work to live, mostly. So we're in the working phase right now. And doing your own personal things or finding personal fulfillment in other things. Like I love our work. I don't think I'd want to do a job that was different than this, but there are other things that I wish I had time for that this takes up most of that time. So I did notice that a lot of people who are saying that they do not feel behind in life are people who are retired or who are very close to retirement. And I think there's something to be said in that I think you have time to find your personal fulfillment. And once you do that, I think you never feel behind again, right? I think that feeling behind is usually because you can't be fully personally fulfilled in a lot of ways. I don't know. That's just my rough thoughts on it. So don't hold me to it. I may change in a few days. Who knows? Susan says, I agree. Our economic system hasn't caught up with technology. It's very true. It's very true. And I don't think it will. I think that, unfortunately, if we got to a place where everybody's, the necessary things, food, housing, protection, if we got to a point where that was completely covered or could be completely covered for everyone, and then, we had a few jobs that some people still had to do because they still need human people to do it. I think people, at least here in the US, maybe not the whole world, but seeing what I've seen from the way politics have been happening right now and what COVID did to people losing jobs and people trying to hire people. And if 90% of the world didn't have to work, but 10% did, I think that 10% right now would make it impossible for the other 90% to not have to work. I think, and that's an unfortunate thing, but that 10% I think would grow so loud that the 90% of people were lazy and it would be a mess. Even though, I wish we could get to that point so that even if 10% had to work, hopefully out of that 10%, at least 8% loved that work or was doing it because they wanted to do it. There will always be people who love to work and love to do things like that. But anyway, lots of tangents today. Marion says, absolutely true, William, mostly retired, and age gives one a different perspective. I think so. Anyway, that's my talk today. Sorry, it took a long time. I hope you enjoyed chatting with me. I always enjoy chatting with y'all, even if it's not about beads and jewelry. And, a lot of times I don't talk about that stuff. I just talk about life. And I'm glad y'all are here for it. I think it's fun that way. But let's get into some gemstones now. How about that? Let me flip the camera around and we'll start looking at some of these gemstones we've got here. And feel free to continue the conversation if you have more to say about anything we're talking about in the comments. We don't have to just, switch gears completely all the time. Happy to continue chatting. Susan says, I've thought we should have a combination of head work and heart work. Yeah, I think there's nothing wrong with that. And honestly, they are starting to say that it would be easy to get by on 4 days of work now instead of 5. And I think we should go right to it. I think people should only have to work 4 days a week and not 10 hours a day. Keep it at 8 hours a day. And I think we would be fine. I think we would be fine. I think we're at a point now where technology is allowing us to do that. I think we are not maximizing our potential because we're wearing people out. And I think if people worked less, I think they would be, well, they've proven that even when people work fewer hours, they are more productive anymore anyway. That was learned a lot through COVID, I think. But we still 5 days a week, 8 hours a day at least. All right, anyway, tangents. Okay, so we are back to A lots, y'all. These are A's. We went through most of the alphabet. I don't know where exactly we left off. We missed a few letters here and there. We're starting with A again, though. So hopefully nobody tries to get any A's from a long time ago because I don't even know what they are. But these are new A's. Hello, Harry. Thanks for joining in. It's like Harry knows. He knew today exactly when we were starting the show. He missed all the chat today. But thank you for joining in, Harry. Susan says maybe 4 to 6 hours a day. Utilize when that makes sense. Work from home. Utilize work from home when that makes sense. Yes. Sorry, I don't. Having your own small business, work from home. I don't. That abbreviation doesn't stick out to me very often because we're always working from home or never working from home. I don't know. Yeah, Marion says Y is where we left off. Yeah, I thought that was, and then I was like, did I do Z before? And I thought we did them a long time ago, so I'm just starting off with A. We're starting off with A again. Bonnie says, sorry, I forgot about last week's order. No problem, Bonnie. That was not a problem. I figured that's what it was. I was late on getting those out. I had said I was going to get them out quickly, and then I did not. Not as quickly as I wanted to anyway. All right, so this is lot A1. If you'd like to purchase one of these, now I'm going to show you multiple strands, but please know that this lot number, $24, is per strand. I'm just showing you what we've got so you can see them. Sometimes showing one strand doesn't always show all the detail, so it's easier to put multiple strands together and show you them at one time. So this is lot A1, $24, and this is AAA grade gray moonstone. AAA grade gray moonstone. Now, grading in stones, even though there's supposed to be a convention, but most vendors grade their stones themselves, right? And so this is AAA grade from this particular vendor who we use often. So they grade these as AAA grade. Harry says, I was busy getting supper going and feeding cats. We were just talking about feeding, how much time it can take with cats, right? No problem. It's just funny. You just happened to come in right as I turned the camera. I was like, oh, it was perfect. So this is AAA grade gray moonstone, and oops, I buried my ruler here. I think these are 6mm. These are 6mm, yes. 6mm, AAA grade, gray moonstone. Beautiful flash in those. Nice color. Aren't they great? I think they're nice. So they are $24 a strand. And just to show you, they recommend that these should be $26.80. So we're giving them to you for $24. We were able to come in under that number because we buy multiple times with multiple people, right? No, we buy over and over and over again with the same people. They get to know us. Sometimes we can buy more than other times, but once they know us, oftentimes they're more generous with their pricing. So we're able to give you a lot of times better pricing than even what they recommend as retail. So there it is. I have 3 strands of that only. Once they're gone, they're gone. All right. Lot A2. I only have 1 strand of A2. And let me just measure this before I get it out there. This is 5 to 6 millimeter prehnite. 1 strand of prehnite. Again, these strands you may have gotten in your Desert Discoveries box if you got one of those. So if you did, just make sure before you order anything here tonight that you didn't get it in your box. If you've not opened that yet, I know some people take time to open their packages, or just refresh your brain. Unless you just definitely want another one, then go ahead and grab it. And if you want to, send us an email, info@allegorygallery.com, with this lot number A2 in the subject line. That's the easiest way to do it. Address it to info@allegorygallery.com, put A2 in the subject line, and hit send. It is first come, first serve. All right, I go through the emails in the order that they come out in, and that's how I do the spreadsheeting for who got what. And then I send you out an invoice. Please also note, if you are brand new and you've never ordered from us before, please also send us your shipping address. That also goes for anybody who may have moved. Please do be sure to send us your new shipping address. Let's see here. Harry says, I put a big pork tenderloin in the oven, covered with herbs, garlic, mustard, and bacon. Whew, that's nice. That sounds good. That sounds good. Boy, pork a thing today. We have somebody eating pork and sauerkraut. We have Harry doing the pork tenderloin. Marion says, I try to have my big meal around 2 p.m. Susan says, we do our big meal between 12:30 to 1:30. That's nice. Andrew and I mostly, I try to have a little bit of something. I usually go over to Abigail's. Like I said, I went over today because they're celebrating their 25th anniversary, but going over there is not rare for me. I usually try and get a bagel and cream cheese, or they do an egg and cheese bagel, and some decaf coffee is usually what I get. And I did that today, and that's usually around noon to 2. And then Andrew and I eat our big meal very late, which is not great. From what everybody in science says, that is not great. We eat very late at night, usually for dinner is usually between 9 and 11 p.m. But we're often up till 2, 3, 4 a.m. So we do have time to digest in there. But I do find that I sleep better when I give my body, I sleep more restfully if I give my body time to do the food processing before I fall asleep. So all you eating earlier, I think that's definitely a good idea. Michelle eats multiple times, including around midnight. Yeah, if you're up. Some people have to eat small doses of food, right? Keep that blood sugar right. These are 8 millimeter carnelian. 8 millimeter carnelian, lot A3, $16 a strand only. That's some nice carnelian in 8 millimeter size for only 16 bucks. That's a good deal. That's kind of like pre-pandemic pricing right there. Bonnie says, I made a large salad, all veggies, but the onion was spicy. Spicy. Yeah, sometimes onions can just be massively spicy or peppery, right? Michelle says, diabetes have to. Yeah, got to keep the insulin levels in check, right? Small meals, I hear, are better for that. We have a few regulars here who have diabetes, and I see what they have to do to keep things in check sometimes. Susan says that carnelian is fiery. It's a good color, y'all. That carnelian was a great color. And this is a AAA grade rose quartz. It's a very beautiful, clear, yet very pink. It's more pink in person than it is coming through on the camera. Very pink rose quartz, AAA grade. And just to show you their recommendation, $28.80 for the price, $18. $18 only, 6 millimeter rose quartz, full strands, AAA grade, beautiful, only $18 a strand. Bonnie says, I love rose quartz. It is beautiful. It's one of the fastest selling things in the store. So if y'all don't buy this, that's no problem, because it'll go on the store floor and probably be bought up, well, when the rain stops, because it's been so rainy we barely had anybody in. I had not a single person walk in the door today. Only the delivery person, our delivery guy for UPS, came in looking for someone else. So that's the only visitor I had in the store today. All right. Susan says, such beautiful rose quartz. It really is. Oh, let's see here. Harry says, yeah, diabetes is a bite. I have to have 5 shots a day and monitor sugar all day. Oh, I'm sorry. That's very difficult, I'm sure. I'm sure, like everything, you get used to some things, but whew, for us who don't have to do that, it sounds like a lot. All right, next up, I have 5 to 6 millimeter lapis. 5 to 6 millimeter lapis rounds. These are some beautiful lapis beads. Nice dark blue color. Beautiful color in there. If I can get up close enough, but I lose my light. It's light down here. Bonnie says, ooh, that's pretty. Love lapis too. Lapis is, you know, if you watch, this is one of my favorite stones. And they recommended on this it's AAA grade lapis, $26.80, and we're doing it for $24. $24 a strand. Beautiful AAA grade. That's graded from this vendor. This is their best. AAA is would be their best stock in these little lapis rounds. 6 millimeter, 3 strands only available. Price per strand, $24. Send us an email to info@allegorygallery.com with A5 in the subject or the body of the email, and it's first come, first serve. First 3 people to get it. First 3 people to get in the inbox get it. Unless you want more than one, then let us know in the body or the subject that you want more than one. All right. Mary Ann says, I will not be tempted. Repeat often, right? Let's see here. Oh, I see Nancy joined us. So leftover white pizza from the best pizzeria in Tampa Bay. Nice. White pizza is delicious. I like white pizza. One of my favorites. I like white pizza. Of course, I like regular pizza. I love pierogi pizza. Have you all had a pierogi pizza before, or is that just a Western PA thing? Pierogi pizzas are so good. Okay, this is an 8 millimeter. I have 1 strand of it only. 8 millimeter tiger eye. This is the brown or yellow tiger eye. What most people think of as tiger eye. Tiger eye also comes in a red and blue variety. But we have this for today. And it has some great flash to it there. Some great shine. Beautiful. Only 1 strand of this. Only 1 strand. The rest got put in Desert Discovery boxes. This is $20 for the strand, lot A6. Susan says, pierogi pizza, do tell. So pierogi pizza is pizza dough, right? Just like a pizza, regular pizza dough, usually a thicker crust. And then mashed potatoes are loaded on top with cheese, usually some kind of cheddar or yellow cheese, like with a little bit of a bite is added on. And then some people also put like a ranch base for it, like a ranch dressing kind of base instead of like a garlic base. But sometimes there's a white sauce of some sort base or a ranch base with so it's like a deconstructed pierogi, and it is delicious. I love it. Marianne says, after all, I bought 2 paintings, the Carnelian and the Turkey mix. That's the Global Adventure, and the Design Challenge mix, and a couple of orders of other art supplies. Eek. Oh boy. You've been busy. Well, we thank you for your help on our end of things. We appreciate that. We appreciate that. Oh, that's because Norm asked Marianne, I hope that's working better for you than it is for me. The not tempted thing. Yeah, yeah. Marianne says, so apparently not. All right, next up, we got a lot of this. We have amethyst. Amethyst strands, but this is amethyst with more of the matrix in it. There's a lot more matrix in these than sometimes you get in amethyst, which I kind of like this. I love the matrix stuff. I love to see what it grows with. I love to see the other colors. Sure, a pure purple amethyst stone, those are pretty. But these just have so much of that beautiful quality of the full, what amethyst grows with, grows around. So this is lot A7, $14 a strand. These are 6 millimeter, and I have a lot of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of these strands. That's a lot for us. Harry says, I had to get one of Andrew's paintings and more art supplies with a shipment with blue stones. And a shipment with blue stones came today. Nice. Nice. Thank you. Susan says, are some of the beads ametrine? Well, I'm not gonna say entirely that they're not, but I don't easily see ametrine in here. I will say that. Most of it is going to be like with the matrix that it grows with. I don't think I have any amethyst crystals, but oftentimes on amethyst crystals, you will see the yellow and the white and various colors underneath. And so when they grow together like that, I love seeing it. So there are probably technically a lot of different stones in here. I'm just calling it amethyst, but there's probably some quartz in here. There's probably some citrine to an extent, maybe like that one there, or an ametrine. Probably some agates. So yeah, that's that. I just think these are pretty. I love stones like this. So maybe you do too. If you do, lot A7, send us an email, $14. Michelle says, I thought I bought the blue and white one, but it has none of the paintings have shipped yet, y'all. None of the paintings have shipped yet. We are not going to be shipping things, like in 2 days. We're just we're too small of a business for that. But right now, Barb is having a baby shower. She had a baby shower this weekend, and she's with family today. So she will not be back in until Wednesday. So she was only in for a very short time on Friday because the baby shower was the weekend. And then she's spending time with family. So she won't be back until Wednesday. So nothing will be shipped. If you got an order confirmation, you got it. You always get an order confirmation. If you get the order confirmation, that means you got it. Our system does not sell 2 at a time if we put 1 in. So as long as you got the order confirmation email, you should be all good. And here's the other thing, y'all, which some of you may not know. On our website, you can set up an account, like you can sign in to our website. If you haven't done that yet, it's really useful. One, it gives us on our end your name, and it matches up your name with your email or your account. But you can also then sign in and go into and look at your order history from us. You can always search your order history then if you set up an account. And it's not hard to do. You can set it up an account either while you're checking out or even before you check out. And then that way you can always sign in. Because I've done pretend orders through our store to make sure things work from time to time. And even I went into my account and all the pretend orders were there. So you can always do that. And then you can track your own orders that way to make sure that the order was actually placed. All right. So this is lot A8. This is a blue agate, just a blue agate. And these are faceted rounds, y'all. These are faceted 6mm rounds. Boy, these are really looking kind of yellow on my screen. They're actually really nice blue and white. Of course, there are some yellow spots, but this is making everything look a little bit yellow because I have yellow fluorescent lights in here. But let me see if I can get the other one. See if bringing the other light here will help. There, that's giving a better color of what these look like, a little bit better anyway. So this is lot A8, $12 per strand. You can order 1 strand, or what I have 4 strands here. You can order up to 4 strands if you want. $12 only, faceted rounds in this pretty light blue agate, faceted rounds in 6mm size. Marion says, I have an allegory gallery folder in my email. That's a great idea. I often set up folders like that too and have things automatically sort into those folders. Like every time an online store order is placed, there's a folder that takes that order and puts it into another, or there's a rule in my inbox that puts that into a folder. And I did that a long time ago when we did our previous online store because it was harder to search orders in that online store. Now I don't have to worry about that folder very much, but at least I know everything goes in there and I have everything. Oh, Harry got his blue apatite rounds. Awesome. Said I spent the morning doing a collage with the beads. You did a collage with the beads. That's cool. Michelle said my big order came today. We'll take pics after. Nice. Harry says I should do that so I can remember what I buy. Yes, you should. You can fill out, just sign up for our website. And when you sign up with an account there, it'll track it for you. And then you'll always know what you bought. But you also get the emails too, and the email should have on them what they bought. Now this is a beautiful gray agate, a light gray agate. Harry says, oh, not with beads, it was a painting. Okay. I know you've been doing the collages. I didn't know if you added the beads to them or not. We have some people who have come, especially I think for book club. They used to make these scenes and they would do collage work and shadow box stuff and use beads in them. And it was really cool. So this is gray agate. These are 8mm, I think. Come on. Yes, 8mm. And let me shine the other light because they're looking a little yellow too. And they're pretty gray and white. I just love all the texture. It's not texture really, but it looks like texture, right? And colors in there. Patterns, I guess. Pattern is the word I'm looking for. Susan says we're halfway through Mercury retrograde. Oh, thank goodness. Luckily, knock on wood. I'm going to knock on wood and, touch the wood, touche bois. But luckily, my Mercury retrograde's not going too bad. I have to say. All right, I told you I have 10 lots. This is the last lot today. And these are $12 each, A10. And we have some fire agate here. Faceted fire agate rounds at 6mm. Faceted fire agate rounds at 6mm. Only $12 a strand. These are full strands. And these should be, usually they're 12, 13, 14 and a half to 15 inches. Some go to 16 inches, but most are 14 and a half, 15 inches for a full strand these days. And let me hit that with some other light here too. Where's my light in there? There it is. So you can see what that's like. These are beautiful too. I just love the patterns in agate. I think it's such a pretty stone. People say, oh, it's just agate. I don't like agate. Why don't you like agate? Agate's beautiful, right? So there you go. Faceted 6mm fire agate. And we have 4 strands available at $12 each. You can have 1, you can have 4. Let us know in the email how many you want. and we'll be happy to get those to you. Michelle says, oh, I like these. Aren't they nice? They're really nice. Harry posted some new ceramic figures today. A lady rabbit was the biggest. Nice. Marianne says, oops, I was tempted. Uh-oh. Tempted you with something. All right, let me flip the camera around and we're going to say a quick goodbye. And then I'm going to get home because Andrew's probably home by now, or on his way at least. And then we got to figure out what we're going to do for dinner, because I don't know what we're going to have for dinner yet. All right, everybody, thanks for hanging out with me today. I know the show was short as far as the Gemstones, but I hope you had a good time chatting. I did. I always do. But I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you had some good... Oh, Andrew's at the cottage. There he is. He just popped on. So thank you all for tuning in. I'm going to head home, see my cats, see Andrew when he gets home, and I hope you all have a wonderful morning, evening, afternoon, whatever it is in your neck of the woods. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for chatting. Thanks for BSing with me and, you know, just pondering things in the world. It's a lot of fun, I think. So thank you all. We love you. Thank you for your support. Have a wonderful time until we see you again. Andrew may be late tomorrow or may not even come on. I don't know because he has his classes. So he may not be on tomorrow. And if not, I'll see you Wednesday and maybe we'll do something late night. I don't know. Anyway, thanks. Bye, everybody.